Hello everyone, thank you for joining us. My name is Andrew and I'm with Pure Resonance Audio. And today we're going to be discussing how to wire an H6 speaker. So here in front of us is our H6 horn. It's a great speaker for a lot of different applications. And today we're going to answer the question on how to wire the speaker because it does look a little different than most of our other speakers. I'm going to turn this around and show you what the back looks like. This is where the back plate goes. It's already disassembled. It's got two simple screws with a little washer to keep it weatherproof and weather resistant from rain and things like that. It's already disassembled. But this is what the back looks like, and you're going to see this and go, wow, there's a lot of wires there. So that's why we're doing this video, because a lot of speakers that you may be familiar with have a little dial or some kind of way to adjust the transformer tap settings to choose what wattage you're looking for out of that speaker. And so this looks a little bit different, so we're going to go over that. So one thing I do want to point out is that we do have a label on the inside of the speaker that shows you what wattage settings correlate to whatever color. And so for example, I'm looking at it, and in 70 volt, the 60 watt tap setting is the white wire. The 30 watt 70 volt setting is the blue wire, and so on and so forth. But then you'll see common is black. And so at this point, I'm going to have to decide which wattage setting I want to use for whatever the application is. I'm going to pretend like I'm trying to get the most output out of the speaker in 70 volt, and so that's going to be the 60 watt option. And so like I mentioned, 60 watt and 70 volt is the white wire, so I'm just going to kind of move that one aside. And then common, or the negative connection, is going to be black. So I'm going to be using these two wires in this example. So these other ones I'm not going to worry about. I don't need them. I'm not using them in this case. So these are just going to be extra that are going to be kind of floating around in here. It may not be a bad idea to cut these down so that they're not in the way and they're not impacting the other connections whenever you go to wire your system. So a few things about how this works is the backplate's going to be involved here. Of course, there is a punch out on one side in case you're daisy chaining or wiring to multiple speakers and not just one. And so you're going to be going into the wall plate and out of the wall plate to your next speaker. So you'll have to punch that out in the event that you're daisy chaining your speakers. You have two collet nuts, and I'll show you how these work in just a second. But these are going to make sure that the speaker is weather tight and free from water getting into your speaker connections and damaging your equipment. And so I'm going to show you briefly, very simple demonstration on how this works. So there's basically three parts to this collet nut. There's the back piece here, there's a middle section, and then there's the cap that goes on the outside. And so the simplest way to do this is to take the back part and lay it down in this tray. It fits perfectly. You're going to hold that and flip it back over, and this part is going to insert back in, and you're just going to make sure that you're holding that back piece so it's flat in that position, and you're going to turn it as tight as you can get it, because that's going to keep that connection tight. So at that point, everything is nice and tight here. Then you're going to take the other side, and this is going to be kind of an all at once kind of thing. So let's pretend like I'm ready to wire my speaker at this point. The speaker wire is going to go through here. You're going to continue to go in. And then whenever I start to twist this, because right now I can just get the speaker wire out if I wanted to. It's not very stable. So as I twist this nut, it's going to clamp down internally on the wire so that it's nice and tight, and then it keeps that weatherproof connection as well. So you can see it's nice and tight here. It's not going anywhere. You can keep going until it's really snug. And then at that point, you're going to connect your positive wire to your 70 volt line. So in this case, it's the 60 watt setting. And then your common or your negative wire to the black, which correlated to the common or the negative connection. So the best thing to do is to get little wire nuts so that you can put these connections together. You'll see here that there's still the outer coating on these wires. You want to make sure this is stripped and it's metal to metal Otherwise, you're going to have some issues. It's not going to work correctly. So you'll strip these wires, and then metal to metal, you'll take that wire nut and twist those together. So my black goes to black, in this case common to common, my white to white. You're going to twist those together, and then you have a speaker connection. So at that point, if you have more speakers that you're wiring, so let's say I'm daisy chaining over to another speaker, then you would have a second two conductor speaker wire connection, just like this one, going through the other side. That's also going to be internal to this that we're talking about, and you're going to basically have two positive wires and two negative wires that you're going to twist together. So you're going to put all of those together with the wire nut, twist it, run off to your second speaker, and make that connection on the second speaker. So I know that's a lot. It's hard to demonstrate this on a video, but the main thing is just to remind you that the wattage settings are labeled here for you. That's going to be very important as you're putting your speakers together and wiring. And just make sure that this is nice and tight so that these weather rated speakers can stay weather rated and work for a long time. And so that's kind of the basics of the H6 wiring. We just wanted to give you a general overview of what this looked like and what to expect. But if you have any questions about this, please contact us. You can call our line anytime. Technical support's ready to help you if you're not sure what to do at this point. So give us a call and we'll be happy to help, but hopefully this was helpful and you enjoyed the video. Thanks for joining us.